It's because you want someone to talk in your ear so you feel less alone. The same reason I listen to podcasts all the time. And that's okay.
Same reason I listen
You
to
are
my
loved.
heartbeat.
Yeah, we're somehow not connected. That's fine. 'Cause it just updated for me on this screen that we're not connected. It wasn't saying it before.
Hey guys, FYI, we're not connected. No.
We're new at this.
But we're still recording.
New
We're
but
good.
not new?
That's fair. The internet connection issues.
This is really better in the long run, I think, anyway, because
Yeah.
Twitch is Twitch is great, but Twitch is kind of weird.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll start changing things, and maybe I won't play music live anymore. Maybe I'll actually start putting music in where I want music.
Put it in post.
Exactly.
And practice your editing skills and stuff.
Mm. That might be fun, because then I can at least have music where I want it instead of being on an endless loop, which I'm sure everyone loves.
I love you.
Besides that point, though, you guys are on your way back. I don't, based on the information you guys have, I don't think that anyone's going to be leaving horses anywhere for you if you don't have connection to anyone to tell them.
Nope.
So
you could theoretically contact Corin and ask something left on the road.
I could.
But
I'll probably just let them know
we
that
probably
we're out.
don't need to. We can just walk.
yeah,
Our
you
legs
guys are
aren't
just going to take a
painted
little
on.
bit longer, maybe, than everyone else will be to get there.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's good to stagger our entrances and exits from cities.
Agreed.
Serious?
So we'll go ahead and we'll get moving from there. You guys move forward. There's not too much going on as far as the road. Of course, you guys are still in close to the city, so you're running into occasional patrols of guards and things, but they don't give you any hassle, stop you, anything. Basically, just polite nods as they pass you on the road. People travel on the road a lot. That's a thing that happens in the world. It's crazy. But after you get out a little bit further on your way, you see less and less people that are moving in on wagons and things, and you see less guards. After a while, you do run into there's a man sitting on a wagon, and he's playing with some cards. He's got a box that he's got just sitting there, and he's flipping out cards, and he looks frustrated. The closer you get, the more you can hear him grumbling himself.
Casual enough that it's not the deck of many things. So far we're good.
Approach him
He's drawn every card out of the deck.
and watch what he's doing.
So you can all see that they are tarot cards, but they don't. No, they're not the deck of many things. Thank you. But yeah, so this man is sitting there with this deck of cards, and he's flipping them out. And every time he puts one out, he gets frustrated, and you can see him like take them all up, put them back in the deck, and then reshuffle it.
What is this? Why are you frustrated at the cards?
He looks up at you and he says, "Well, I've had these cards for many, many years, and they've always been good luck for me for all my life. And then today, every time I shuffle," and he shuffles it and he deals it out, and you see he points at one of the cards and he says, "This card comes up," and it's the death card. It says death on the bottom.
Which is how I know it's the death card.
Yes. And the picture is, it looks a little sad. It has a phoenix on it, but it looks a little bit melancholy.
Aww. Do the cards always come true?
He says, "Well, I had them checked once, and the priests told me that there was nothing holy with them, but they always seem to have some kind of beneficial thing. Like I said, they're my lucky cards, but today they are not my lucky cards."
So, what are you casting for? Like, what are you trying to determine?
Well, I don't know the meanings of all of these. I really don't have much experience with the meaning of these cards at all. I've been told a couple things here and there, and that some are good, some are bad, some are good omens, some are bad omens. I don't know. I just flip them out, and then usually I feel good about them. But I don't feel good about getting this death card over and over and over again. He shuffles it again, flips out 3 cards and flips them, and death is one of them once again.
That's really unfortunate.
Oh, but is death not simply second half of life?
No.
I wasn't in those
It's
ones.
not.
Death would be in here.
It's in the major arcanas. It is a phoenix.
That.
How are you dressed right now? You kind of like to wear a dress that kind of has feathery embellishments, don't you?
Generally, yes. I'm also rather colorful. Like, I don't match.
Bird reborn from the ashes.
And I am probably at least wearing my pink skirt.
He again shuffles it, flips them out, and flips them, and damn. And he looks up and he kind of looks at the 3 of you and he says, "This doesn't seem to be my time anymore." And his eyes linger on you, Whitney. He says, "Maybe this has a different meaning." And he reshuffles them again, puts them down, puts them on the little, like, he just has like a little crate.
Little box.
Like a box crate that's in front of him that he's been flipping these cards out onto. And he says, "Here, why don't you try?
Okay.
Just go ahead and shuffle them all together and then flip 3 out."
Okay. Like, sit down in front of it. Try to imitate his shuffle.
Yes, that's exactly how he shuffles. I'm just
Oh.
All weird with his pinkies contorted.
No, I'm
the
just
way
kidding. I was joking, I'm sorry.
it's fine. I know I shuffle weird.
Vincent
it's
goes
fine.
and starts like.
So this guy actually, his hands are really gnarled. He has a really hard time shuffling them in general. So every time he shuffled, it was a bit of a slower shuffle, and you could see he actually has a couple knots on his fingers and things.
Just 3 off the top.
Mm-hmm.
I'm boiling water for tea. Or whatever, like a drink.
He leans out and looks at him and says, "Well, at least you didn't get death. I think that my time with these cards is done. If you want them, you can take them."
Really?
He just nods and says, "My hands don't shuffle like they used to."
Well, thank you. I take a feather from my hair and give it to
Equal
him.
trade. He takes the feather, and
Lost.
what color is this feather?
It's probably one of my feathers from when I transform, so it's like a black crow.
With a green or bluish sheen to it.
Yeah.
He looks at it and he says, "Well, this is a very nice feather.
Thank
and
you.
It reminds me of that damn card, though."
Nice.
You want a flower instead?
No,
Okay.
no worries. He says, "Hopefully you have better luck with those cards than I do." He says, "I'll have safe travels on the road. I gotta get going." And he starts putting the boxes and things back onto his wagon.
You also, stranger.
What is? Stranger.
I've got
It's
tarot cards.
the shopkeeper from that one game.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, it's been so long.
Strange. There you go. You got some tarot cards.
I've got tarot cards.
You guys, after,
I spend the rest of the day playing with them.
of course, you guys keep traveling. So for the rest of the day, she's playing with that. You guys don't really run into anything for the rest of that day. And then you only have probably 3 or 4 days left of travel in general. Unless you're wanting to really book it, you could maybe get there quicker. But I don't know if there'd be any benefit to that at this point.
Not. I don't see any special.
Now we're just kind of. I know that Saris is. So one of the big teachings in Saris's belief system is that the path is the only important thing. The destination is not. And so Saris is really enjoying the chance to just travel.
Okay.
And were it not for these guys, he would probably be taking like wildly awful detours.
Starts going into the brambles and like, I'm not going in there.
Yeah, like, oh, I think I hear somebody whistling. Maybe there's a hunter who can give us wisdom over this way. Like,
Yes, you guys.
But we gotta meet the others.
The next day, actually, a similar thing does a thing like that does happen. It's a little bit different. You run into a group of people who are obviously different than most of the travelers you run into.
different people.
Yeah. So one of them has many tattoos, which, as you're getting closer, you know, they're also all wearing robes.
Okay.
I want to get a tattoo.
You recognize a lot of these tattoos, or at least once you get closer, you kind of recognize a few of them, Paxton.
Oh.
Because some of them were not. They were in the anti-devil literature that you run into. That a lot of people try to throw in your face about some of your beliefs.
So these are the devils.
You recognize you recognize some of the symbols that are tattooed on. The only two colors that he has tattooed on him is red and black.
Okay.
Rojo.
Rojo. But they don't seem to be paying you any mind. There's 3 of them, and they're just standing off the side of the road.
Like they see us and they move off the side of the road, or we go over like whatever crest and they're just off already.
They were already off to the side of the road,
Wait.
and they're standing around basically looking at a tree.
Oh, I just walk right over and just join them and stare at the tree with them.
When you get closer, you can hear that they're all mumbling some sort of chant to themselves.
Oh, I slow down when I hear that.
I can't just stare at a tree and enjoy the company.
Is it like a random lone tree?
There are so you occasionally run into patches of trees on the path that you've been on. It is a lot of. Well, there's quite a bit of forest.
The particular tree that they're looking at, is it just like a lone tree in the field? Is it like
It's a tree just off to the
pine
side of the road.
tree?
It's probably an oak. Yeah.
Is it
It's definitely not a
mostly
pine
been oak
tree.
trees?
Mostly, yeah. There doesn't seem to be anything special about this tree. I mean, it is kind of on its own, but most trees will grow mostly on their own, except for like quakies and things.
So
I stop and look at them and the tree, and then back at them.
what are they mumbling? Can I hear it?
What languages do you guys know?
Not enough. Common and halfling.
Very few.
Elvish.
It's not Elvish.
Beeves can't.
Not thieves can't.
Common.
Man, I really like the
not-
weather today.
It is not common.
I still haven't. I forgot to spend my extra language. Oh well.
I would choose one now.
Now is the hour and the moment.
We go with orc.
Is it orcish?
It is not.
Dang it, you're
Dang
so
it.
close.
What about goblin?
It is,
What about giant? I
Is it
bet.
What about
primordial?
French?
Now
it's
in
not primordial.
in player knowledge, I bet it's giant.
Is
What
it,
about Latin?
It's not giant. It's
Is
not
it
Latin.
Latin?
Is it
Technically.
deep speech?
Okay, so asking this over and over again is not going to help you guys.
Wait, hold on. We got
It's not
something for this.
primordial.
I cast a spell. Comprehend languages.
Okay, what are the requirements for comprehend languages?
I don't know. Let me see. Calm.
It used to be like a touch spell, which is why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I don't think it is anymore.
I
But
don't think
that
it
means
is
I need to
anymore
ask.
either.
Pinch of soot and salt, verbal, somatic, and material.
Change so.
They go
For the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear. You also understand the written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface that the words are written.
Does that work for the magic language? Out of curiosity,
Um,
I don't see why it wouldn't. I guess. But-
this spell does not decode secret messages in a text or glyph, such as an arcane sigil that isn't part of a written language.
I just get a literal, like,
Yeah.
word for word translation.
Yeah.
It Google
And it's horrible
translates.
Horrible grammar.
Maybe not necessarily horrible grammar, but
Depends on how
You-
similar the grammar patterns
You are understanding what it is, and what it is basically a name of some sort, stated multiple times, as well as you can feel. You feel that the meaning has something to do with warding an area, and you feel that it has something to do with a devil or a devil's servant. It's hard to know what's going on. You can kind of get the feeling that it's some sort of magical thing, but you're getting the meaning of kind of some of the literal words that are
They're doing
coming
like
up.
some warding magic or something, either for a devil or against. No, that's probably something to do with the devil warding magic.
oh,
They finish.
do I have any knowledge skill? Of course I don't.
Me
I-
either.
You don't even
gonna
have
say-
knowledge of Arcana?
No.
That they're probably not summoning a devil, because I
It
don't
doesn't
think
seem that they're
nature
summoning a devil.
will allow them to do that.
For what?
It might.
For what?
She said that she doesn't think that nature would allow them to do that.
I don't think the tree would allow that.
Anyway, so as soon as they're finished,
They
I say,
finish and the tree dies.
Oh,
Huh.
And then they look, and then they seem to, looks like they kind of come to themselves, turn around, and look a little startled.
and I say, "Hey there."
The man with the tattoos steps forward, and his voice isn't. There's nothing wrong with his voice, but something feels wrong with his voice.
Oh.
And he just says,
Hi guys.
"Hail, how can we help you?"
Good question. We just heard you and thought we would come and see if you needed any help, actually.
You see a brief glint in his eyes. You're interested in helping?
No.
What did you just do to that tree?
I'm like walking to the tree. I'm like,
He looks to the tree, looks back, and says, "Marking our territory."
Hmm. I mean, that's a pretty common thing in nature.
I don't like them.
Is there anything else you need? If not, we'll take our leave.
Which way are you headed? Just curious. We're headed that way.
Point up the road.
No, I just kind of point.
He points behind him past the dead tree.
Okay.
Off the road.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna kill any more.
Not today.
Really don't.
Well, we'd better get going. Have a nice day. You know.
He bows to you, and after he does, the two behind him do, and then they walk away.
That was bizarre, but I don't want to get involved in anybody else's business. We're like, on the
Yeah.
clock, right? We gotta go.
I also don't know if I could actually beat them.
Oh, I'm sure we could, but like, why would we? It's fine. Probably.
Hey. I put my arm around Talia. It's like, hey, if we see any of them paladin boys, we can send them this way. That way they won't kill any more of your trees, okay?
You run. I mean, so you guys are just walking away right now, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Just making sure. Didn't want to make assumptions, but it sounded like that's what was happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, so you don't run into really anyone else for the rest of the day. In fact, it's kind of a lot more quiet than it was earlier as far as animals and things are a little more silent. And
Probably because they killed a tree.
It's probably fine. I don't know why.
It's definitely
why you're so
not
worried.
fine.
it's probably fine. Whitney's like, no. there's
not
no
okay.
way it's fine. You don't really run into anyone, no problems at all. About a third of the way through the next day, so it's evening, maybe 4 or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
But after you've walked for what you would consider about, did I say a third? I'm sorry, I meant 3/4 of the way through the day.
When it's about time that we're setting up camp.
Yeah, well, you might be getting to the point where you might set up camp or might travel a couple more, kind of a thing. But you do run into a small, when I say small, I still mean more than you three, but you run into one of the smaller traveling guards,
Yeah.
military.
How's your chance? Tell them about your
So-
tree.
There's one person who obviously seems like the leader. They're already set up in a camp
Mm.
that you guys kind of get to. It's nothing crazy. It looks like they literally just finished setting up a little camp. There's one guy who's obviously a leader, and then it looks like there's about 8 other than who you guys recognize as some of the lower, like the basically level militants, yeah. But you can walk past if you want, or you can stop and talk.
I just like pull my hood up over my face a little bit and just like I'm gonna keep walking.
Hey, I'll catch up with you.
I approach them.
Yeah.
As you walk up, one of the guards, one of the military personnel, walks up to you and says, "Hail, traveler! What can I assist you with?"
Hey,
Hell.
And then the guard, the leader dude, you see him like behind him, nod in approval.
We come bearing some unfortunate news that you guys might want to know, actually.
Oh, what is that?
About 3/4 of a day's travel on this road, you will find a tree that has been withered to death by some people with some weird black and red tattoos.
The captain walks forward and pushes the other guard aside
Oh no.
and just says, "I'm sorry, you saw what?"
We saw people kill a tree with magic.
It really scarred my friend here.
The captain like looks at you like
I'm like distraught.
this damn tree. He looks at you and he's like, "What did you say the man looked like?"
So, there was 3 men, all in robes, and the leader, or one, was covered in red and black tattoos. They were saying something, I could barely understand it, about warding a devil or a devil servant. I couldn't...
Less than a day from here,
Yes.
he calls over 2 people and he says, "Get your horses. I need you to check something." He says, "Thank you." And he says, "Everyone else, pack up. We gotta get going." And then they start packing up.
Like, hey. There you go. See? Wasn't that hard. I just like console her, and we start walking to catch up with him.
Okay.
And I probably only walked like I don't know,
A little while and then...
just far enough to be just like not next to any soldiers,
Mhm.
you know.
Cool. That sounds good.
And then I just like waited.
How long are you guys going to walk? And before you guys end up setting up camp, and do you set up camp on the road? Or
We probably
just until we find like a
yeah,
good
until we
place
find
to
the next
camp.
good camping spot.
Okay.
And with my you have Outlander features, right?
Wanderer.
Wanderer. Okay, that's a specific different one.
Yeah, I'm good at maps and geography, and I can find
Gotcha.
water, food more easily. Background. Feature. For the hooker. The hubba. The hubba. Handbook. The hubba.
Make a survival roll.
You could. I'm not too worried about it, but I mean, you're just planning on walking up till you find a nice camping spot.
Yeah, basically.
You find one in like about an hour, other than the one that they were already in.
Right.
After you guys get set up, you start hearing a company of men that you recognize walking like going on the road towards the city, past you.
Like away from us?
Like you guys just stopped. They were
like
here.
They're
You went
us
past
now.
them and stopped, and now they're going past you towards the city.
Not in the direction of the tree?
No.
Two people are looking into it, and then he's gonna go get more people.
It's definitely fine.
Is it all the people in that group? Or is it
Um,
missing 2 people?
They're missing 2, and there were a couple horses that they had taken horses. The 2 that.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of horses still in the group. But
I'm just sitting at our cook fire, and I don't really make eye contact with them.
they don't stop to talk or bother you or anything. They just walk right past. And then later in the night, if anyone has guard or if anyone is a light sleeper, you'll hear 2 horses go by after a number of.
Yeah, I want no sleep.
Yeah, at the probably the twilight hours when it's not morning yet, but it's still nighttime. You're getting close. You hear horses go past your guys' camp towards the city.
I'm reading my copy of the Shadow Book.
Yeah, just
Look
to
up,
see.
huh? And as soon as they pass,
But you guys are only about a day's out at this point from getting to the city. After all of those situations. Paxton, you know where your friend's house is. You can walk past it.
Okay. I did send you a text with the details I had thought of, so you can always alter some of those, but
When you go, as you're getting in towards the city, you're getting closer, you do know, or you do see the symbol for at least wanting to speak.
okay.
So you recognize it not as there's a task for sure, but sometimes speaking can lead to a favor or a request. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they just need to talk to someone for any reason. So,
Yeah. So would this be like right outside of their house, or they would have like set it on the road, and then we have to turn off toward where you think?
You probably would have to go at least to be able to see their house.
Gotcha.
And the reason I say that is because I don't think they know that you're going to be on that road specifically.
That's fair. Yeah.
But it might be that what they have as a symbol is kind of discussed. Like you said, it could be like a blue neckerchief or whatever.
Yeah.
They actually have a scarecrow type thing that's decked out in all blue right now.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So
So you can see it from a ways off. Like
Yeah.
you didn't have to get to their house to see that the symbol is given.
we get to like the top of a hill or something here, and Cirrus just stops dead and is just like, "You guys can come with me or not, but I have to go visit an old friend," and just turn and start just running down the hill toward this little like not really a farmhouse, but like a little cottage.
you running through like the field or like along the road and like along.
No,
different road?
I'm just like going through whatever field is here. There's
Awesome.
like
Do we have to run?
no,
You could fly.
you can fly.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it looks like this might have been an old farmhouse, and there's a couple things still growing and like a tree with some fruit on it. But it's obviously not being taken care of as a farm currently.
Is the tree with fruit on it near the house?
Yes. Yeah. It's not too far from that.
I'm gonna fly.
I'm not running, but I'm just following in the wake of the whatever grass is pushed aside from him.
Yeah, it looks like a wheat variant that might have been a cultured wheat at one point, but it isn't.
But now it's growing wild.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I'm just pushing through those stalks through his.
For the path I'm making.
I'm gonna land in the tree and turn back into. I'm out of the tree.
Turn into a human while you're in the tree and then climbed. That's good. Okay. So I catch up with you.
It's an apple-ish tree.
I bring an apple or
Yeah.
2 or 3 down with me. They're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and it is about fall, I think, is what we had discussed when we started this. But anyway.
I don't recall.
Anyways.
And Cirrus
Fax
just
is
like
I have it right there. Or Grayson's like, I have it right.
Oh.
and then Cirrus like gets his breath, and then I stand up straight and like adjust my shirt, make sure it's sitting properly, and okay. March up to the door and like light taps almost.
Yeah. You hear some movement inside, and then the door opens, and you see a man, a halfling, open the door. Describe him for me.
Oh, this halfling is let's see. The first thing you notice is his skin is just like waxen pale, like not quite vampire pale, which you would recognize.
Oh.
He's not that.
But
I'm
just
not there
like he looks like he has had a fever for his whole life.
Dude, you okay?
And it's a fever where he's past the like flushed cheeks and into the just like there's no blood in his face at all.
Just sweaty sheen.
But he's also got this like perfectly coiffed like pompadour of kind of a strawberry blonde hair.
I love it.
And a light dusting of freckles that look really weird against the pale, like
How pale
it's
is
Yeah.
such a stark color contrast.
It looks actually like he has almost like dark brown freckles, but only because of how pale he looks.
Mm-hmm. And he opens the door, and he has got a kettle that looks oversized in his tiny halfling hands, but it's definitely just like human-sized kettle. And he says, "Oh, hi. I wasn't expecting you so soon."
Please come in. And he gestures all three of you to come in.
I'm like super lagging behind.
As soon as you walk in, if anyone, you're there for sure, and you're there. As soon as he opened the door, you also got a very strong smell of what you recognize as highly caffeinated tea. And you also smell, well, it's a lot of different things. It almost smells like Thanksgiving in here. But he gestures you all inside. You, from a distance, he kind of waves at you and then just leaves the door cracked as you two actually go in. And he says, "It's so good to see you, so good to see you. Please come in. Sit down at the table."
I
and at
hand
the table,
him an apple from his own tree.
he looks at it and says, "Oh, thanks, but the apple pie is already on the table."
Perfect.
And he,
I'm just eating like. There's pie?
There's always pie in this house.
he gestures you in. He sits you at the table, and you can see that there's already one meal sitting at the table. Looks like it was meant mostly for him. He goes into it's just like curtained off. There's not actually another room, but he walks into there and comes out with a bunch more plates, and he's got pies on it, and he's got some kind of poultry on it, and he's got a bunch of yam kind of things, and he just basically puts them down in front of you and says, "There you go, eat. I'll grab one for your friend too."
Oh, thank you so much.
You are
Just
very
close the door?
kind.
Yeah, just close the door on your. He just went to go get some more. Oh, Pearl, do you still have that cider, or do you still make that cider?
He pokes his head out from behind the curtain. He says, "You know I do."
Ah, yes.
And he brings out some hard cider. It's in like an old jug,
Like
like
a
with the
earthen-
X's on it
Oh.
and everything for no
Heck
good
yeah.
reason. Yeah, just like that.
That's great.
Thank you for the meal.
It's the least I can do for someone who introduced me to the correct path.
Now, you know, Pearl. All paths are correct. All paths lead toward wisdom.
Yes, but I didn't know what I was looking for on the path.
Fair.
With that, I like slowly I motion my book out on the table so like it's visible.
You see his eyes like widen and the big grin, and he's like, "Another?"
He's just reading for now, but
That's where we all
think
start.
oh no. Oh no, what have I done?
It's like
What did you call him?
Pearl.
Pearl.
I like
I
Pearl.
say this is Pearl Ralnor. Pearl Ralnor.
Yes.
A dear friend.
I'm always glad when I can have you stop in. I'm always glad to be able to have a nice meal like this. Mind you, I have a nice meal like this every night. But I don't always get to share it.
We're happy to share, always.
And so from this point, it kind of cuts to like the camera goes back and it just has all of you sitting at the table. And he's asking you just questions about everything about you guys. You two specifically. He asks you a couple of questions about what you've been doing or up to or what's some new information. He's like, I like that passage. But he's focused on like asking you guys everything about yourselves as he's sitting there eating. And offering you more food anytime you run out.
I'm definitely dodging a lot of my background.
I am answering freely.
Yeah, he's quite intrigued by your birdness.
I go.
I just recently got these cool cards.
He will sit and play with your tarot cards with you for a while as you guys are talking. He'll tell you to read him, tell me what my cards say.
Ooh, okay.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I haven't read for somebody else yet.
Are you gonna do it?
I am gonna do it.
Okay.
As you're shuffling and things, he does still talk to everyone else. This would be great if, depending on what you shuffle to him, this could be great.
It could be hilarious.
But he keeps asking. He asks you a lot of questions, and you can tell that he is actually specifically trying to pry, and he's not even hiding it very well.
Yeah. I go back to about like when I met him.
But it totally feels like really kind and genuine. But he's definitely
Like-
prying.
He's prying, but it's not because he's rude. It's because he's curious about you, and he wants to be friends.
And he feels like you're really just not telling him. You're just not telling him, and he just feels like you need to. So he keeps asking questions that aren't the same as before, but they're like reaching for the same kind of answer.
But like, oh man, did your mom ever make you pie as good as this?
I'm gonna make you pick your cards.
My mom.
He leans over as he's still talking to Grayson and just like takes out cards, and then he puts them down and he says, "What do they mean?"
Oh no! What do they mean? What do they mean, Talia? What do they mean?
What does it mean? And then he pauses talking to him for a moment as he just stares at you with the cards.
You're gonna suffer, but you'll be happy about it.
Whitney's like, or Talia's like, it means something.
So you're gonna welcome unexpected guests.
Welcome!
You didn't tell me.
This card worked out really great.
That's perfect, yeah.
And great guests they are.
Thank you.
I know. So what did you used to do for work?
So I actually used to be a caravan guard for a halfling named Glove.
Don't know him.
That's a shame. He's a great guy. He's actually not from this country.
I am. Yep, I've been from here all my life.
Yes. You don't know what a wand is? It's like a
I
stick
probably have just
that
never
you use
come
to
across one
cast
before.
a spell. She just
She's
doesn't
never
know that
read
with
the word.
the word in common.
Yeah.
A wand. It's actually pronounced wand. It's a stick you use to cast a spell with.
So unexpected visitors, a wand, and what is the last one?
Star. Major arcana.
The star is a major arcana, huh?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It has one of the Roman numerals on the bottom.
Yes, it does. We're gonna do something cool. No, I'm kidding. I don't say that.
That's exactly
That's
how I say
dumb.
it, though. You're gonna do something cool.
We're... Words are
Constellations.
hard.
Star.
In the light of the stars are gonna find truth.
Amongst the shadows, of course. That is where you find most of your answers, from what I've seen.
Yeah. From my
Amazingly
experience.
enough, I actually did want to talk to you about something else. I've recently found some interesting information.
Oh, is this something that came up from your work? Like
As a courier.
as a courier?
yes.
Yeah.
I've been hired multiple times now by, well, I know you have a history with them, or maybe not a history with them, but some cultists of the Baylor.
Oh.
Yes, they've apparently acquired some sort of, well, actually a wand.
You guys at work. I'm like,
I don't know much else about it. As you know, I'm not supposed to really look over some things, but some stuff opened, and I saw some information, and
It happens.
as it does. But oh, here, have some more potatoes. Have some.
Oh, these are excellent. What did you season them with? That's amazing.
Yeah, most of
Garlic.
it's naturally seasoned.
Oh.
The dirt around here is really, really rich in some minerals that help it.
Oh, I can tell. Yeah.
I don't know what makes the difference personally. I didn't make them. I just bought them. But
Oh, of course.
I've probably mostly eaten pie. Just
completely fine, of course. Would you like some more? I would have to get into the next pie for you, but
no. I'll just finish eating my
Oh, I love
apples.
this. Anyway, sorry, we were talking about the information that you
yes,
stumbled upon.
all that I really know is that they have found some sort of wand that is going to help them with something. It could be against the church, from what I understand, against believers, some sort of corruption.
Oh.
I don't really know, but what I do know is that there's some sort of wand that they've found. And you said you were coming into town, and I thought to myself, you know who knows good answers to things about what we should do to find the right path? You!
Ah. Amazing that the
It could just be that we don't talk to him at all. I mean, I don't know, but I'm in need of guidance and wisdom, and you are coming through town soon.
Oh no. Cirrus is so dumb, guys.
You are wise to
I'm reasonably okay at wisdom. So
Hey. It's a good thing we've got Vincent with us, right?
Did you say Baylor?
Yes. There's many cultists who believe that they need to free the Baylor from his silver prison.
That's the one in the mountain.
Mount Ferris, yep.
Hmm.
don't like that.
And he is acting mostly nonchalant about it. Not that he thinks that they should be freed, but not that he thinks that there isn't a reason to not free him. He seems pretty... You've read the book of the path, and it seems that this man is here for the experience, not the decisions.
That's good.
Now, I'm all for using different wells of power.
Mm-hmm.
As am I.
But
And he kind of like shimmers a little shadow out of his hand. He uses it to grab a frickin' roll.
Well, I would prefer anybody who allies with me to at least be trustworthy. I don't believe that Baylor is trustworthy.
That's true.
And again, I don't know what they're doing with this wand or what the cold wants, but...
Rumor has it that the devils are quite trustworthy on their word.
He has glasses.
I guess he does now.
He just barely, he pulls them out of
I
a pocket.
think that we might need to
For-
just, we might have to talk to the boss about it. See if he...
Someone higher.
Well, not someone further along the path.
Well.
I've been hired for a specific series of jobs. These are my coworkers for those.
Very nice to meet you once again. Are you sure you don't want any more pie?
Yeah, I'm fine with mine.
Okay.
But we can talk to the boss and see what they think about how it'll interact with the job. In the meantime, thank you so much for talking to us, Pearl. You know,
I will be here. Most of my courier work is done within a day, so I get here at night most nights.
All right.
Do you cook this food yourself?
I cook it.
Nice.
I just don't grow it.
Every night you cook like a meal like this?
Yes. Mind you, sometimes I just have to warm it back up. Not every night does this many people come.
That's fair. I'm still impressed.
Yeah, and a lot of it I can just leave. And he kind of opens the oven, and you see that there's a couple more potatoes just sitting in like this little stove with like a little fire going in it. And he says they'll keep for days in here, and just be ready to get out anytime.
How much does that oven weigh? And is it?
It was
magic?
very heavy. It is not magic. He opens it, and it's basically just coals with a little bit of spurts of fire under it every once in a while. He says, I just stoke the coals every night, and it keeps everything in here at a nice, hot cooking temperature, but not hot enough to burn anything.
Might need to get.
He's like, the whole thing is built of stone. It's pretty heavy. So I actually had to hire someone, and had to hire a whole wagon to bring it over here. But it has made food so much easier.
Oh man.
Dungeons and Dragons crock pot.
I relate to Pearl so much, I kind of want to switch characters.
Oh.
Yes, I decided he loves his food.
It's perfect.
And I love that he loves his food.
Well, you talk to your employer. Think
Yes.
about it. I don't expect you to know right now. Come back if you have any answers for me. Until then, I'm just going to keep doing my courier thing. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
they already have the wand. It's not like I can take it from them.
True.
I'm not going to mess with the cultists if I can avoid it.
Do you know what the wand was for?
Nope.
What?
Just that it was something they were excited about. Right?
They were excited about it. They said something about maybe corrupting some people from the church. That's all I know.
Oh, suddenly you're coming around on devil worship, huh?
You're coming around to using a wand. Don't want to
Anyway,
release a Baylor still.
we should. How far out are we from town?
Oh, you're not that far out. Just a couple more hours, you'll be there.
Okay.
You could make it tonight if you wanted. It would just be a little later. Not even that late.
Do we know our meeting spot? I mean, I assume we know our meeting.
You were told
So-
that it was a place called...
We can find out.
Yeah, I can reach out to Cole.
Oh yeah, we're.
At one point or another, you were told that you were going to be meeting at a place called... It's called the Resplendent Round Table Inn.
Oh, yes.
Bless you.
you.
I then, in that case, Pearl, do you know any shortcuts to get specifically to the Resplendent Round Table Inn? Anything that'll...
You could take the river. It would take you right there.
Yeah? Is there a ferry nearby we can take? That might be handy.
Yeah, actually, you could take I wouldn't say a ferry, but there's an old man who will take you right to the main gates, and they open it for him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll talk to him. We'd probably better go. We're a little behind schedule already. But if you need to contact us, that's where we'll be. And if you don't find us first, I'll reach out to you.
No, that sounds perfect. Perfect. Yep, go ahead. Do you want to take any potatoes with you? Would you like to take a pie?
I would love... Did you say he had some yams or whatever?
Most of the potatoes he's talking about
are like yams or sweet potatoes or something in that spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, can I just like have one of those wrapped up in a
I have some cloth.
some cloth? Yeah.
Yeah,
I can just eat it on the road.
He nods and he goes and he takes it out and he like does the like whole tips of his fingers thing a couple times on it as he grabs it and then puts it in and gives it to you.
Ah, perfect.
And he says, "Well, that's all. Feel free to stop by any time, any of you."
Will do.
It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. One day
was
you're gonna have
nice
to tell
to
me about
meet
your
you.
childhood, though. It was so nice to meet you too, Madam Crow.
I give him like a leaf from my hair.
He takes the leaf and he says, "Whoa, what a nice gift."
Oh, I love him. Anyway,
And then he just like you see him just like turn and put it down on
on the stove.
not on the stove. He just like puts it down like in like he has like a little potted plant and he puts it down in the dirt of the potted plant and nods and then turns back.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
All right. Well, we better get going.
Go. When you go to the river, just go straight to the river from here. You'll go just straight through those trees. You'll see the river once you get past them. The old man will be on there somewhere. Tell him I sent you. He'll give you a ride into town. He has to go there every night anyway to deliver some things.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
To deliver.
Yep. Alrighty. Have a good one, Pearl. Oh, and I've been reading the tale of the sculpture lately. I think that there's some good things in there that we'll have to talk about later.
Perfect. Yes. Well, my
Or
table's
that I'm
open.
gonna want to talk about anyway.
My table's open, or you know how to reach me.
Absolutely.
You guys leave.
Yep.
What town are we in?
You are nearly in
Los
Los
Salus.
Salus.
Okay.
1 second.
However you can pronounce it.
With letters.
Slosalis. Los Salus. I am the best at spelling things.
Rosarish.
You're the
Me
best at spelling
too.
words that you invented.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Let's
So-
go find this definitely not a smuggler man.
When you do get to him, it doesn't seem that he is a smuggler.
Oh.
He has lots of bags full of letters and envelopes that he is taking into the city. So it appears that this old man is someone who probably works with your good friend and actually delivers it into the city, where your friend doesn't actually have to go in the city if he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Sorry there, Grayson.
I'll play footsies with you.
Later.
Later.
He once you go and talk to him and tell him that you're with him, he lets you get on. It's basically just this big raft, and he just has a bunch of like bags that are in like boxes that are built into the raft that he just puts onto he has them in there, and then he just says, "Take a seat if you can. You can sit on those letters. It's not gonna matter. They've already traveled a long ways. It might fold them. It might bend them. It's not gonna hurt me. They've been in those bags for a while."
Yeah. Sit right on one.
But he just takes you in. Once he gets closer to the walls, you see there's actually some walls that are built Good timing.
Like, choking on myself.
It's the worst.
I'm choking on talking. But once you guys get there, you see that there are walls that are around what you can guess to be the city proper. You've seen a couple of houses here and there on the river and out further, but once you get to those walls, there's gates that are covering up this river that's going in. But it's just like a metal iron gates that look like they just open up and get cranked up, portcullis style, and you guys are able to just go through. The river's not huge, but you could probably fit 2 or 3 of his little raft barges across it. If you once you get in, he takes you to a. You see, after a while, there's quite a bit of city that you go through, but after a while, there's like a logging. What is the right
lumber
phrase?
mill?
Yeah, like a lumber mill, a logger's mill, a lumber mill, and he actually stops just past that, and he points in and he says, "That there, that there is gonna be your inn." He points right at a building and says, "That's your inn."
That's awesome.
You want help unloading the letters since you gave us right, or?
He looks at the letters and he looks back and he says, "No. Nah, I'm just taking these to the government buildings up there."
I give him the rest of my potato.
He takes it and he says, "Oh, well, thank you kindly."
I don't have any money.
I have money.
I have money.
I do have a little bit. I just give him a little potato.
Yeah, I'm not really giving him
It's
money.
like a
but
third. That's still a lot of potato.
You guys get out and are you just going straight to the inn?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys go to the inn, and as soon as you walk in, you see why the place is called the Resplendent Round Table. The place is just kind of like fine. It's a nice inn. It's okay, but it's nothing to really write home about. But they have one table at the entryway that's just really nice.
Resplendent.
Yeah.
You might say.
Is it round?
It is a round table.
Sorry, I'll stop
It is not even very big though. It is probably big enough for 2 people.
But it's
But
resplendent.
it is
so it's a
very nice.
bistro table.
It's basically a bistro table. They have it just kind of sitting off to the side, like when you walk in, it's just there, and then the rest of it just looks like a normal inn.
Even better. I love it.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
But you have to admit, like it's like etched. It looks like it's some sort of silver or maybe silver and platinum.
Ooh.
It looks very nice. And there are 2 guards standing right next to it. The rest of the place, just totally fine.
Okay.
Don't want anybody running off with the table.
I mean,
Yo.
I guess if it's made out of silver or platinum, it makes sense.
I'm not sure if it's made out of or plated with, but
But
the
there.
same idea.
There.
There is some on it, at least.
Mhm, yeah, so. But you do see a little bit further in, you see a bunch of people you recognize. And when you go and talk to. You guys see Krog, who is the dwarf. He sees you. He gestures you actually to him, and he says, "You're later than we expected."
Yep, we had some delays on the road, but made it finally.
Well, now that you're here, I'm sure that Merrick's going to want to meet up with everyone. And he says, we have a room, nothing like the last place, but we have a room where we can talk privately. Has just about enough room for all of us." And he gestures to it. He says, "Go in there. I'll round everyone else up.
Thanks.
At least everyone who's here." Anyway, you guys go into that back room, and I mean, I feel like now might be a good time for a break, but everyone gets into that back room. It looks like there's at least a couple people from every group. It's only Syken who's here. Bill actually isn't here.
He's working.
Yeah. And then Xander and his wife, Xander and his mom, Shalantha, are there, but it looks like both Rolf and his daughter aren't there. But otherwise, the whole group of the Dragonborn is there, and Nizam's whole. So, everyone gets around this. It's a private room that has multiple smaller tables, but it's not anywhere near as spacious, and it's not connected to a bunch of rooms like the last place you guys were.
Mm-hmm.
And then Merrick walks in with just a big smile on his face, gestures to the room and says, "Well, I'm so glad everyone's here. Let's talk about this city." And we'll go ahead and pause. Pause and have a quick break here.
Okay. We'll be back.
Bye.
BRB.
Well, thank you all for watching. We are going to be stopping for the night. We'll talk about the city next week.
Get in the robot. No, wait.
Yeah, some things came up. We're going to be stopping this time. While we are not streaming, go check out a bunch of other streams.
I bet there's more of them going on right now.
And if you like podcasts, they exist.